Good morning from Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan. This bridge has a very peculiar design, and actually a lot of the buildings around here have a very peculiar design. That's the main thing about this city. So today I'm gonna check out all the interesting architecture, interesting buildings of this city. One of it is this crazy bridge. And that's also kind of a crazy bridge. We're starting off well here with a fish monument. Anyways, Astana is a very interesting city to me, because I'm into like weird cities, and this is definitely one of them. So actually the Russians called this place Akmola, to its actually Kazakh name apparently. Then a few years later they changed the name to Akmolinsk, and then in the Soviet Union the city was called Tselinograd. That refers to the Russian words for like undeveloped lands. And then in 1990s, when Kazakhstan gained its independence from the Soviet Union, it was renamed back to Akmola. Almaty was actually the capital of Kazakhstan and still is actually the biggest city in Kazakhstan. Anyways, at the end of the 1990s, it was decided that this place, which was then known as Akmola, should be the capital of the country. By the way, I arrived in this park now. Architecture here is bizarre, by the way. At the end of the 1990s, the city's name was renamed to Astana and made the capital of Kazakhstan. Then, in 2019, Nursultan Nazarbayev, who had been ruling over Kazakhstan since the independence of Kazakhstan at the beginning of the 1990s, he stepped down, and the capital Astana here was renamed Nur-Sultan to the first name of the leader. When I booked my ticket to Kazakhstan, I actually flew into Astana, and the airport code is NQZ, the N for Nur-Sultan. I actually thought that I was going to Nur-Sultan and that Astana was the old name. But then when I was doing some more research, it turned out that in 2022, after the civil unrest here, the city's name was named back to Astana. It was only called Nur-Sultan for like 3 years. Anyways, here I am in Astana, the capital, which shouldn't really be a capital, with many names. But right now, by the time you're watching this video, the name might have changed. But while I'm walking here, it's still Astana. To be clear, nowadays the city is very modern and very developed because a lot of investment was put into this city. However, that doesn't of course change the climate. In winter it will be incredibly cold, and in summer it will be incredibly hot. Now I'm here at, let's say, the end of October, so it's starting to be cold. It's actually freezing a lot during the night, but so far it's still okay because the sun is out a little bit. But I can imagine that if you live here, it must be tough in summer and in winter. It looks like a bowl with a hole to me. It doesn't say anything, so I'm not actually sure what it is. I'm just gonna say it's a bowl with a hole. My sunglasses broke on the train in China, where I had to stand for 9.5 hours, and there was barely enough space for people, let alone for luggage, even though everyone was taking luggage there. So my glasses got crushed. So if I'm squinting, now you know why I'm not wearing my glasses. So we have another monument here, some kind of huge clock. Seems like there's some people chilling. If you have to pick a place to chill, apparently people pick the huge clock monument. But anyways, this is still nothing compared with what we're gonna see today. Because yesterday when I came from the airport by bus to the city center, I saw some crazy buildings. Like a whole other level of crazy. I stumbled upon a UFO. According to the map app, it's a circus. This is what I mean with that Astana just has this crazy architecture. It's literally a UFO building. It's a circus. I could see that also because of the statues that are in front of it. By the way, that crazy bridge in the back. And then these are all acts you would see performed in the circus, I imagine. They're working on the monument right now, it seems. This city is enormous. It doesn't make sense. It has these huge crazy buildings and few people walking around. Everything extremely clean. On the internet I saw people compare the city in terms of the architecture and the way it feels to like Pyongyang in North Korea or Ashgabat in Turkmenistan. Now I can see why. It's just a crazy city, honestly. I'm excited to see more of it. Let's go. So I'm here at that huge building. If you look around, over there is that nice opera house, and then over there is like another huge monument that I'm going towards later. But you can see like this area is huge and really beautiful. So I think this is like the the real center of town, like it has to be. So this is just a really regular shopping center, including a Starbucks and like your standard stores. It's multi-story, it's huge, but I'm out of here quickly because I can go shopping anywhere. Let's go find out more weird architecture here in Astana. Let's check out that huge monument that I can see in the distance. It really resembles the monument that I saw in Shymkent actually, but then a way bigger version. Next to the old-style opera house, the hyper-modern buildings, you also find mosques like the ones behind me. And it's prayer time, apparently. I imagine it's because it's prayer time, but there's a lot of people actually going towards the mosque right now. So there we are at this huge, absolutely enormous, I guess it's a torch. It's called Bayçerek, it seems. So it seems like I can even go inside, so let's do that. Let's see, there's a sign, even in English. It says the Bayçerek monument is a symbol of the capital of Kazakhstan. Bayçerek is a material embodiment of the ideas of ancient nomads about the structure of the universe and symbolizes the tree of life. 105 meters high. I didn't know you could go into the bowl at the top. So that's where I am now. Over there is the presidential palace. I think I will be going there next. And then on the other side you have the building that I just walked from. Let's see if we can go even higher. I think we can. It kind of works like a greenhouse. So I'm roasting in here. The view is pretty cool. Oh, what's this? I'm so confused. There's this kind of altar thingy, and people are putting their hands on it as if it's something holy. I don't know. Let's check it out. So I looked it up and I found what it is. It's called Ayami Alakam, which means carrying hands. Apparently this is the imprint of the right hand of the previous president of Kazakhstan. So I guess it's his carrying hands imprint that we can connect with here. So after seeing all of the quotes of Nazarbayev on all the monuments in Kazakhstan, this is a great way to end my trip. Very interesting thing to do. One of the highest points in Astana. It's almost my turn. There's a huge queue because this is a very popular thing to do here. This is something you have to do when you're in Astana. I don't know yet why, but maybe after doing it I will feel like a different person. Let's see. Alright, let's go. So I guess I stand here and I put my hand here. Yeah, I'm definitely a different person now. I'm now eternally connected with the president. Also, somehow, when I did it, glorious music started playing, whereas for nobody else it did. So I don't know if that was coincidence or something magical. It was magical for me anyways. Now, my next mission here is to wash my right hand, because I do feel a little bit gross after that. Not because of the president's hand, of course, I wouldn't have to say that, but because of all the people's hands that have also touched that. A very different kind of tourist experience in what is normally a classic tourist trap, you know, like just a huge building and you have a view. But this one actually, there's not that many tourists, mostly Kazakhs, and you get to put your palm into the president's hand. Now I've been blessed by a high five from the president. I think it's about time to go to the presidential palace. So that's where I'm off to now. This whole lane from all the way from that shopping center where I started to here. It's a beautiful walk, really. This crazy building in the background, and then on the other side, the presidential palace. Insane. The hand thing in there was utterly bizarre. But I enjoyed myself. It was really bizarre. Alright, I couldn't get too close to the palace, and actually where I just filmed, I had to be led through by police. Like, the security is very tight here, but to be fair, the police is actually very nice and just said, yeah, oh, you want to go there to make a photo? Yes, okay, sure. So I was allowed to some extent to make a photo. So here I am on the other side of the river. You can see there is that presidential palace. You still can't see it that well. But when you're walking around in this area of Astana, you just keep coming up to these really random huge buildings. And yeah, it looks like a huge modern pyramid. I guess that's where I'm going next. It's very easy to pick where you're going. You just keep walking and you see some huge, gigantic, random building and just go there. Behind me is this huge pyramid, which seems like you can go in there. So I'm gonna check out whether I can go in there. And then on the other side, there's this huge monument with the Kazakh eagle on top of it, and there behind the trees is an enormous mosque, and there's no people. But anyways, let's see if we can enter this pyramid building.
Actually, was museum here, and from 4th to 7th floor is just offices. Was in 2003. Here you can see our first president, Nursultan Abishevich Nazarbayev. Also, letter from each president. The winter garden. It's artificial.
They're all artificial?
No, like 40%.
Oh, 40% is artificial. Yeah. Okay. Is there a reason for that? Or it's just because it's too hard to make them all real?
Yeah, I think because of that.
Yeah. That was an experience. There was actually tour in English that I could follow there. So the girl said that this whole building was only built for some conference. Every 3 years there is a religious conference from religious leaders from all over the world, including like the Pope. They realized, wait a minute, if we have this huge building we're only going to use once every 3 years, maybe we can just make a museum out of it as well. And so that's how a museum ended up here. Was it interesting? I guess I'll let the footage speak for itself. The girl was very nice though. It didn't seem like they received many tourists here. She seemed happy to do the tour. Now let's check out this other monument here. And then maybe I go to that mosque. This is really an impressive mosque. Let's see if we can go inside this one. It's the other mosque where I was earlier, the small one. There was a lot more people, but I guess it was prayer time. Now that was a beautiful mosque, not just from the outside but also from the inside. I did film a little bit in the prayer part, but normally you go into the mosque and then you're basically directly at the part where everyone prays. But this place is like a lot of halls, easy to get lost in, and there was even a restaurant. Now I would have gone there, however, since I was at the top of the pyramid over there, the tour guide girl, she pointed at this restaurant that you can see from there. You can eat there on the top floor and have a view of the whole city. So that's why I'm not eating here now. I'm gonna try to go there. Very beautiful mosque. The only thing that I wonder is that I haven't been in too many mosques in my life, but I've been to a few in Kazakhstan and also in other countries. But I've never seen this before, like where you're in the prayer part, the women and the men were mixed. Now, I've never experienced that before. Like the entrances were still separate before you enter the prayer part. You go through the washing part, and that's separate here. But then there were women sitting in the same place as men. So I'm wondering, is that normal? Did I just go to all the weird mosques first? Let me know if you know what the deal with that is. Anyways, I'm gonna try to go to that restaurant. Sitting here with a really nice view of Astana here. I just ordered some real national Kazakh dish. I decided I would treat myself because it's the last night in Kazakhstan. Tomorrow night I will be at the airport. I ordered a biesh barmak, which is horse meat, and I only had horse meat once in Kazakhstan, which was in Shymkent, and I really loved it. So now we'll really do the test of whether I really like horse meat or that restaurant in Shymkent was just amazing. On top of that, I ordered the camel milk shurmak, I believe it's called. So that one I haven't had yet, so it's also apparently traditional Kazakh thing to drink the camel milk. So I'll have the horse meat with the camel milk with a beautiful view of Astana.
Shubat.
Shubat?
Shubat.
Shubat. Spasiba. There we go. We have the camel milk. So I hope I will like it because this is the only drink I had for my meal. Shubat. I said something else I think, but it was Shubat. It smells, to me it smells like feta cheese. Wow. It's very interesting. You can really taste that it's fermented. It does taste like... You know, I actually thought I would not like it, but I would just try it because I have to try, you know, the national thing. But I actually do like it. It's very refreshing. And the fact that it's fermented, it gives it this it's like sparkling. I'm sure there's a better word for it, but it's actually quite good. I would gladly drink all of this, but I'm gonna wait until my food arrives so I can drink it with my food, which I think will be a really good combination. I never thought I would like camel milk. Right, so I got my meal, horse meat, and under it are like nice dumplings. Just gonna first get some meat. I guess I'm a fan of horse meat. I don't know what is in it, but it's good. This is a great meal. Absolutely great meal. Alright, I'm gonna enjoy this last night in Astana. I'm on my second day in Astana and the last day in Kazakhstan. I stumbled on this thing here. It looks a little bit like a copycat to the Arc de Triomphe in Paris to me. But yeah, another random impressive monument in Astana. Why not? Let's see what else we can find in these last couple of hours whilst I'm still in Kazakhstan. This is actually a huge botanical garden. You can see the trees are still kind of being not built. I'm saying built because everything in the city is built, but trees grow. So the trees are still growing. I think they must have started to build this garden not that long ago. I am going towards that building. I see a huge ball in the distance. Alright, I arrived at the big ball. And the big ball is actually called the Expo 2017. Presumably made in 2017 for some exposition or conference or whatnot. By the way, behind me is this huge other random monument. But anyways, there is that huge ball. I just read on the sign that there's a museum there about renewable energy. So apparently Kazakhstan is investing a lot in renewable energy, which is interesting because the whole reason why this country is extremely rich, at least the government is because of the huge amount of gas and oil that's being taken out of the ground here in Kazakhstan. When you look at the prices for fuel, I mean, I'm from Europe, so we're used to very expensive fuel, but here it's like less than 50 euro cents for a liter of normal fuel. The oil is just all from here, they don't have to import it. Anyways, let's see what they can teach us about energy here. This place is exactly as high-tech as it looks like from the outside. What is it? Egg in a tree, is what I call it. And now I see it. It's like that Baitrek, really big monument where I went into it and I connected with Nazarbayev's hand. That's what it is. And the tree version. Well, I was already impressed by this first floor, but I didn't realize, of course, this ball is huge, but there are actually, it seems like there are 8 floors even. So I got to the 8th floor. It's not just a museum, it's also a panorama view of the city. This museum is very impressive. I've only seen 1 floor and now this one. It's just worth it for the view already. The only thing is if you fear of heights, you have to be a bit wary as to where you're walking. Привет. Привет.
Hello, my friend.
How does he know I don't speak Russian? Hello.
I got up, charged up and brightened up.
How are you doing?
Hello, how are you?
You can tell me a joke, please.
If robots can't identify stop signs or traffic lights and capture images, maybe self-driving cars are a bad idea.
Honestly, this museum is incredibly cool. It seems to be about science and not just renewable energy, but renewable energy is definitely a theme here. But if you look at how much electricity this museum is using, I'm wondering, like, where is that electricity coming from? Is that not coming from natural gas? Is all this electricity coming from solar or wind energy? I doubt it. But anyways, it's still very interesting. Oh, whew. Now I know what wind speeds are. That was the Expo 2017 museum right there. If you ever end up in Astana, I'd say this is a must. It's an interesting building and you have the panorama view. This was a great way to end my trip to Astana and Kazakhstan actually as a whole. This was not just a trip to Kazakhstan, it was also a trip to Xinjiang, China. Make sure to leave a like and a comment. I read all the comments. Stay tuned for more travel videos because I'm not done traveling yet. So subscribe if you want to see more, and see you next time.